Interest rates on the rise. Will that slow down the recovery in real estate? And is it too late to buy?
This is America's #1 financial news program, On the Money. Now, Maria Bartiromo.
Up next, On the Money, 5 years after the mortgage meltdown, home prices are up, interest rates are rising, and now home buyers are scrambling. Is the housing market a rebound, real or for show? We'll take a look. Market continues to heat up. Places like San Francisco, Atlanta, Las Vegas are seeing dramatic increases in prices from growing demand. But is it really a comeback, or are we getting too excited too soon? Joining me now on the state of real estate is developer Don Peebles. He is owner of the Peebles Corporation. And Don, it is wonderful to have you back on the program.
Great to be here.
Thanks so much for joining us. So home values have been rebounding, right? I mean, the numbers look good. They've been rebounding for over a year. Inventory shrinking, signaling a recovery in housing, although fewer people own homes today. What's the state of real estate?
Well, what's happened is there's a tremendous amount of pent-up demand, and inventory has not grown essentially in the last 5+ years. And so as the pressure from holding down prices and holding down investment in real estate has lifted, the inventory has gotten absorbed. And so now what we've had is all this inventory that seemed to be too much, bringing us into the recession in the first place back in 2008, has been absorbed, and there's no inventory. So prices are rising very rapidly.
Now what about interest rates? We've gone from what, the low of about 3% to now 4.5% on your average 30-year mortgage. How do you think higher rates are going to impact the market?
What it does is it actually serves as a controlling element. Interest rates have been the lowest they've been in my lifetime. I remember when I bought my first home in 1987, interest rates were 9.5%, and that was a bargain.
Wow.
So, I think what's happening now is rates are just controlling the market a little more.
Yeah, I think we're going to look back someday and say, remember when we could have borrowed at 4.5%?
Yeah,
it was pretty extraordinary, even though that's up from 3% the low. I want to get your take about where we are in terms of the possibility of a bubble, because I recently spoke with former Treasury Secretary Hank Paulson, and he believes that with the federal government still insuring over 90% of new mortgages, we could be headed into a new housing bubble. Listen to what he said. I'd love to get your reaction.
If the government is setting the prices on your mortgages through a subsidy, it's not economic reality, and you will get another bubble again.
Are you worried?
No, not at all. The federal government's always had a role in insuring mortgages. They've done it through HUD, FHA, VA, and also Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. So the government's role is just different right now. But if you look at New York City, for example, almost all of the mortgages that are placed in New York City exceed the insurance levels of government-type insurance programs, and they are being driven by high-net-worth buyers, high-income buyers, and they are pulling up the market in gateway cities like New York, Miami, San Francisco.
What about that first-time home buyer, though? I mean, with more and more investors buying up real estate, are the first-time home buyers getting blocked out of the market?
They're getting blocked out of the market, but for a different reason. There's not enough inventory. There's not enough inventory for those prior first-time buyers to step up to the next level of houses, because nothing's been built in the last 5 to 6 years. And so we need more inventory at that price point, because right now, today, it is less expensive to own than rent.
Now, you're building a big project. We had a $400 million project in downtown Manhattan, restoring the old New York Life Insurance building. Several other developments also in the hopper. Tell us about these projects and the opportunity in those markets.
Well, Tribeca and downtown, what's happening is New York is shifting in terms of luxury housing. Downtown now is the highest price point per square foot in Manhattan right now, because it offers a great deal of freshness, new energy, and also new inventory, because this is the only place where you can have new inventory right now, converting commercial buildings into residential buildings. And so we have a building that's 400,000 square feet, the original New York Life Insurance headquarters. It's an iconic building designed by Stanford White, and we're real excited about it, and we're going to transform that part of Tribeca. It's Eastern Tribeca, and we're real excited.
Wow, and prices are really going up in that part. What is commercial real estate looking like these days? Are prices getting away from people at this point?
We're seeing a shift in the tenants now. We're getting New York City, for example, is getting many more high-tech companies, and so other growth industries now are picking up the core downtown or central business district type office space in New York, Atlanta, Miami, San Francisco, as opposed to law firms and financial services industries that have pulled back a bit.
Let me switch gears a bit, ask you about the politics that you've obviously been a major fundraiser for President Obama. How much responsibility do you think he bears for this gridlock in Washington? Everybody wants to see both sides get together.
Oh, I think gridlock was here before the president got here, and it got more intense once he got into Washington. But the gridlock in Washington started back when Newt Gingrich in the mid-1990s had the contract with America, and when the Republicans took over the House of Representatives. That was when a deeply partisan approach came about, and that's just perpetuated from a prior period of time in the Congress of more working together, more of a partnership, to now extreme partisanship between the far right and the far left, and they both hijacked the parties. And the president, I think, is much more to the center than people give him credit for.
Yeah, it's unfortunate about that hijacking from the sides. Don, it's good to have you on the program.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Don Peebles joining us.